Stone stacking is fun, and it looks cool. There's more to know about this pastime activity. Did you know that people in ancient times also stacked stones? Well, they don't do it to have cool Instagram material. Cairns were our ancestors' first foray into building structures. They piled some rocks on top of each other, and boom, they had the beginnings of a shelter structure. Mongolians used them in burial monuments, and in Tibet, they were used in ceremonies to summon good fortune and balance out contradicting energies. Also, people get help from them to mark their environment so that they don't get lost. I mean, back then, getting lost was probably easier. No phones to share locations. I'm near the tree. Which tree? Later, this practice turned into a hobby and a meditative practice. Wildlife experts are getting concerned about stone stacking. I know it looks harmless, but unfortunately, it damages nature and sometimes people. So much so that you can risk someone's life by either kicking a previously made stone structure or by making a new one. Stones are kind of like living organisms. They're part of the habitat of numerous tiny creatures like insects. How would you feel if someone lifted your house's roof one day? Well, that's what happens to these animals. These creatures preserve water under stones. It even gives them a safe place for reproduction. When you lift a stone, you might interfere with Mother Nature's order. If enough stones are moved, it may make erosion faster and even hinder the flow of rivers and streams. Although piles of rocks should never be your only source of navigation for hiking outdoors, they can show you the way home. It's kind of like the same principle in ancient times. Many rock stackers built this small structure to mark their trail. That's why specialists don't recommend kicking them over. In fact, in some locations, cairns are there as part of official policy. For instance, Carlsbad Caverns National Park uses them to guide visitors in finding paths at less frequently used parts of the park. Since rangers in these types of parks and areas built stone piles for themselves, when you build your own cairns, you can confuse others who desperately need a hint to reach civilization again. So, read the rules of the area you're going to figure out if rock stacking is part of the route marking system. In some areas, you're not allowed to make stone piles. It's prohibited, like carving initials into a tree. You may break the main rule of wildlife ethics. Leave no trace. Lastly, your stone stack, for example, on mountain trails, can fall. Then it can trigger cascades that could target hikers below. They walk down the trail and all of a sudden, they face danger. Oops. Oh no, you've stumbled upon a wild animal. Since we're talking about outdoor stuff, we should talk about what to do if you see one. How to behave depends on the animal. Let's start with snakes. Back away slowly and give it some space. Definitely don't put your hands in piles of rocks, by the way, because there might be another snake there, since these reptiles like hanging out under rocks. If you see a moose, give it space too, especially if there's a little member of its family nearby. If they start charging, run and try to put a tree between you and the moose. And watch out for those hooves, they're no joke. What about a bear? Back away slowly if it doesn't notice you. If it has, then speak in quiet tones. If it charges, use bear spray and stand your ground. I know it's hard, but think like you're the one who has sharp teeth and weighs 600 pounds, not it. You can lie down and cover the back of your neck with your hands and stay motionless. Those seconds will feel like an eternity, but be sure to stay down long enough for the bear to lose interest. Lastly, a mountain lion encounter. Don't act like prey. Stand tall, make loud noises, and back away slowly. If it attacks, fight back with all you got while protecting your head and neck. There are other things that you should be careful about out there in the wild. You might be a solo traveler, but if it's possible, don't hike alone. The first reason is safety. It would be tough to get back to your starting point if, let's say, you twisted your ankle. Alternatively, you can let people know that you're out there and planning on returning at a certain hour. They can check on you and make sure you're okay. Don't forget to text them when you're back. Otherwise, you might end up searching for yourself with the search team. Believe me, it happened. A tourist in Iceland went missing, but not really. You see, the woman had gone on a sightseeing trip with a tourist tour. She then changed her clothes on the break. When she came back in different attire, her tour group didn't recognize her, and to make things worse, she didn't even realize they were looking for her. So they sent out a search party to look for the missing person, who was right there with them the whole time. She even helped with the search herself, and they didn't figure out the mix-up until 3 a.m. Okay, back to the useful tips before going on a wildlife trip. Avoid counting on your smartphone for directions in certain situations. Picture yourself deep in the mountains. There may not be service. For that, you can buy a tracker that has a feature to send a satellite message. That being said, don't be shy about investing in necessary equipment. For hikers, socks, backpacks, and shoes are key elements. For water, you can get a water filter or a chemical water treatment and learn how to use it, and check if it works before you leave home. The second part applies to other equipment too. Let's say you go camping and test your camping set. Not every area is dangerous, but it's best to do some research first. If you're going to camp in a place where bears are nearby, there are a couple more things to pay attention to. You can have bear canisters to store your food. Don't rely on a regular bag that you tied into a faraway tree. You might not find it there the next morning. Your meal can be the bear's dinner. That's why it's better to store food inside a bear-resistant container. In some camping areas, using a bear-resistant food container is actually mandatory. Having bear spray is also a wise move. Bears are smart and motivated. They contact humans more and more. This made them become habituated to our food. Once they taste how beautiful our snacks are, they want more of it. Hey, why should I hunt when I can get this delicious food? Oh, and keep in mind that they don't look for food only in camping areas. If you store food in your car, that's a risk. The bears can bash the windows even just for a can of soda. Remember I said that they're smart? They can visually recognize and associate the stuff related to food. A cooler, a car, a tent. The solution is simple. Don't leave these kinds of items inside the car, and especially in your tent. Wild animals and birds are intolerant to loud noises, so don't play loud music from your speakers. But also, never wear headphones, because you should keep your ears open to what's in the environment. What if there's a rock fall or an animal close by? Don't let noise canceling catch you off guard. Imagine you're hiking a mountain on a narrow trail. There's another group in front of you. One of them wants to make this moment last forever, so they take a picture while walking. Oops, they slipped down towards your side. Moral of the story? Stop at a safe position, take the pic, and move along. You survived the photography accident and carried on. Oh, are they berries? Nope. Never eat wild fruits unless you're 100% sure what they are. They might be poisonous. Now that you know these, there's only one thing for me to say. Enjoy the adventure!
That's it for today. So hey, if you pacified your curiosity, then give the video a like and share it with your friends. Or if you want more, just click on these videos and stay on the bright side.